Imagine a clay jar, buried for nearly 2,000 years, humming in the dark like a tiny heart. Imagine that inside that jar sits a copper cylinder and an iron rod, a simple arrangement so ordinary that when the pieces were first catalogued, they were almost ignored. Now, imagine those same pieces whispering a different possibility, that the ancients may have known how to make electricity. Welcome to the Baghdad Battery, a small object, a big question, and a mystery that sits at the crossroads of archaeology and imagination. Stay with me. By the end of this story, you'll have followed the artifact from the dust of an Iraqi vault to heated debates in laboratories and lecture halls. And you'll decide for yourself, did people long ago harness a force we consider modern, or are we mistaking coincidence for invention? In the 1930s, archaeologists excavating near modern Baghdad uncovered a curious set of finds: clay jars sealed with asphalt, each containing a copper tube wrapped around an iron rod. They were catalogued among Parthian relics, dated roughly to the first few centuries CE. At first glance, they look like nothing more than ritual objects, containers, or perhaps folk-crafted curiosities. Yet their construction was precise: copper sheathing insulated from an iron core, sealed tops, remnants of asphalt, and traces of an acidic residue. Why would ancient craftsmen go to such trouble? The simplest explanation is often the most tempting. Perhaps these were storage vessels, or tools for plating metals, or even components of ancient medicines. But a different interpretation quietly circulated, that this configuration could produce a tiny electric current when filled with an acidic liquid. The idea sounded improbable, almost scandalous. It suggested an ancient knowledge that bridges millennia to our modern era. Take the object apart in your mind. A clay jar, a copper cylinder snug inside, an iron rod suspended within, but separated from the copper by an insulating layer. Add an acidic electrolyte, vinegar, wine, or lemon juice, and the pieces become a crude galvanic cell. Electricity begins to flow, small, measurable, real.
Scientists and historians tested replicas. Some created a weak current, others failed to reproduce it consistently. Where experiments produced voltage, skeptics noted that corrosion products and the archaeological context made a functional battery unlikely. Maybe it was a coincidence, materials stored together for convenience, not for purpose. Yet the imagination lingers on practical possibilities. Electroplating, the process of using an electric current to deposit a thin layer of metal onto another, is one application that has drawn attention. Could the ancients have used this technology to gild objects? Could they have used electricity in rituals, in medicines, or even as a curiosity? Every lead in favor opens new questions, and every doubt tightens the suspense. There are three main paths the debate follows. 1. The battery hypothesis. These were rudimentary cells used for electrochemical processes, plating, preservation, or experimentation. 2. The functional object hypothesis. They were mundane tools for storing papyrus scrolls, cosmetics, or medicines, and their battery-like form is coincidental. 3. The symbolic or ritual hypothesis. Objects designed for religious or magical use, their form meaningful but not technological. Advocates for the battery theory point to reproducible voltages and the presence of acidic residues. Opponents point to the lack of corroborating artifacts, wires, conductors, or written instructions, and to the implausibility of an entire technology leaving such a thin trail. Emotional energy fuels both camps, the romance of a lost technology versus the rigor of archaeological method. Each experiment, each paper, each lecture pulls the story in a new direction. Laboratories lit up with attempts to settle the issue. Scientists built replicas, varied electrolytes, and measured outputs. Some teams recorded current, others found that corrosion or leaching made the devices impractical. Historians combed texts for hints, recipes, metallurgical manuals, or passing descriptions of strange tools. Nothing definitive surfaced. Media seized on the more sensational claims, while specialists cautioned restraint. Then came another pressure point: cultural context. These objects were found among Parthian-era materials, a civilization renowned for trade, craftsmanship, and wide-ranging contacts.
Trade routes crisscrossed empires, techniques migrated with merchants and artisans. If any culture could have encountered electrochemical knowledge accidentally or intentionally, it was this web of exchanges. Yet even that possibility is a whisper, not a shout. Regardless of whether the Baghdad Battery ever delivered a practical current, its true power is different. It forces us to re-examine assumptions. It exposes the gaps between archaeology and imagination, between experimental replication and contextual proof. The artifact becomes less a verdict and more a mirror, reflecting how we wish history had proceeded, and reminding us how careful we must be when reading the past through the lens of the present. Today, the jars sit in museums and in publications, photographed and debated. They have inspired documentaries and internet debates, attracting both careful inquiry and fanciful speculation. The most honest conclusion may be the humbling one: we don't know. But that unknown hums with possibility, and curiosity is a historic force of its own. If the idea of ancient technology sent a thrill down your spine, there's more waiting. On our channel, there's another story that dances on the same boundary of myth and genius. The Antikythera mechanism, the world's first computer. That machine, recovered from a shipwreck, clocks, cogs, and astronomical calculations, challenges everything we think about ancient engineering. Click that end screen to watch it next. If you enjoyed this journey into the Baghdad Battery, to a small thing that helps us uncover more mysteries, like this video, share it with someone who loves history, and comment below with your verdict: battery or bauble? Don't forget to subscribe to Secrets of History for deep dives that mix rigorous research with cinematic storytelling. Hit the bell so you never miss an excavation of the past. History is full of sparks that almost became fires. Whether this jar contained a flicker of ancient electricity or just an everyday tool, the question itself lights curiosity. Keep asking, keep exploring. Secrets of History will be here, unearthing the past, one mystery at a time.